So number 5 reason why Realty Trust Services is unique and perhaps you should choose Realty Trust Services for your management needs. So it's growing prosperity. And what does that mean? Next to our logo, almost any place it appears, it says the words growing prosperity. And of course, most brand phrases, they're just that. They don't mean a whole lot. And most people have been jaded enough to not really expect anything. Growing prosperity, in one sense, is pretty general. But I wanted to talk about how that is worked into what we do. How do we make this a top value? And in many respects, this should probably be number 1 in terms of everything. I tried to choose this list of 5 for what would you guys see as most important. Anybody's prospectively thinking about property management. But to me, it's number 1. I look at it, and in many respects, it's aspirational. It's big because you have prosperity and you have growth. And in one sense, modern day culture, many people have de-emphasized capitalism. It's become the bad thing. But prosperity is in my mind a mindset, a heart set. Like, are you truly doing well inside, right? It all starts there. You can't manifest wellness to people outside. You can't create a lot of value if you're not the type of person that does that. And I would say, as I've grown in business, what I've seen is that, like, there's actually a lot. It's a very difficult business, but there's so much opportunity to help people, and so that's creating value, right? And so we're looking to create value in exchange for value. You're solving problems, allowing other people to grow prosperity. We're helping tenants live well. And in exchange for that, as a property management company, as investors, you doing that, there's a reward, right? And we're trying to help you get your reward. And in doing so, we're also looking for a reward as a company as well to be compensated, right? And so there's a creation, and then there's an exchange of financial, monetary value, as well as emotional value. There's meaning, the idea that we are doing something important. Families are living here. Economies are expanding and growing. All these things are happening and we're participating in it. We get to. So there's a lot of meaning and value just in that makes a lot of the difficulty worth it. And I will say this, I'm an adoptive parent. I have 6 kids, 3 of them are biological, 3 not. And over a year period, we had a couple of our 2 of the families represented, not our own family, in our adopted kids. They had drug overdose deaths in their family. And when we attended those funerals, it was very difficult to see. Just the hopelessness and the difficulty. And also within the same time period that happened, I had 2 different workers who they were contractors, but we valued them. And they both died of drug overdoses. And there is I don't know if anybody knows, if you're from out of town, there's a opioid epidemic in Northeast Ohio. Now, I think it's countrywide, but the Northeast Ohio has been known for it for a long time. And you see a lot of people, they're trying to cover up issues, undealt with issues, one way via addiction and kind of chemical dependency. So for me, I look at it, we as a company touch, like, we have 10,000 inquiries, over 10,000 inquiries a year, just for people inquiring on rentals. And we're looking at, like, how can Realty Trust Services affect things positively in our network, where we are, the people that we touch. And I myself have come through quite a journey, and you know, the top level, it's like, well, how did he get into real estate full time from being a geeky engineer? A lot of people kind of look down on the real estate side. I've heard people question, like, why are you doing this? And that's a whole story. But a lot of it came down to me not being able to get out of bed for a long period of time. For me getting very sick. You know, me dealing with significant trauma as a young person, you know, a young kid, 4 or 5, and then you start to live that as an adult, right? And so I've experienced that. I've wondered, you know, am I going crazy like my grandma did, who was institutionalized, right? Am I, you know, you watch Beautiful Mind, you know, Charles Nash, I think it's Nash, and it's a movie. It depicts, you know, a person who is, you know, kind of losing it, and you worry as a young adult, is that going to happen to me? So I look at all this long video here, and you think through all these things. Why do we do what we do? What's the meaning? How do people flourish? In my mind, like, you know, to be honest, I found the best way out of mental health was to be okay with the weirdness of life, to be okay with even the prospect of perhaps doing that. Can I be happy even if I lose my mental health? You know, there's a number of things I've learned, and I actually created a seminar that we were providing as like an online study course, and we created kind of like an online coaching program that would help people take what they said they did in their own personality. They fill out a personality assessment, and take that and then turn it into like daily habits that help people establish wellness. And that's something that we're implementing with our current team. It's something that we're offering for free to anybody, whether it's a prospective tenant, both as a way to, I guess, sell us as a company that's different, but genuinely, you don't need to pay me money and you don't have to associate with me. But what I want is to see people do well. And I believe that there's something really great about that. You know, it changes people, changes us, it changes the opportunity for a relationship. And so I guess I've gone all over the place in terms of what Growing Prosperity is. You can go to growingpro.club and check out that. At the time I filmed this, we're just kind of actually rolling that out as a public thing. So there's still some things we're doing. It's still kind of in beta. But you can go to growingpro.club and check that out and sign up. If it's not yet available at the time you do it, you can sign up for when it is available. So that's just a little bit on what Growing Prosperity means to me. We have a kind of a walkthrough of company values, trying to give examples of what is and is out of value within the company that we go through. And that is in our help section. So it's like company values. We kind of release that to prospective team members, as well as kind of try to use that and go over it every once in a while.